What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the 7-3 Garage. A couple surprises today. I've done something that I've been wanting to do for a long time at my house. Well, long time, 3 months since I've been here, but I should say since I've had the truck. My pops came over yesterday and made this happen, so check this out. Well, it's actually a couple things. I was able to get my truck in the garage, finally. This is something I've been wanting to do since I bought the truck, and I didn't think it was going to be possible, but when I bought the house, I knew there was a potential that the truck was going to be able to fit, and there was. It fits snugly, I guess is the right word, but it does go right in. I actually had a hot water heater right behind the truck. You actually see the footprint where it was, and I put a tankless water heater in, so that's an awesome upgrade. Nothing really to do with the truck, but it's great. And yes, I did upgrade my water heater so I could fit my truck in the garage. I don't know, just seeing garage kept vehicles, not just really my truck, but any truck, is awesome, and it really saves the paint, the interior, the plastics, everything. Just it's able to be saved over the course of time that you own the vehicle. So it's definitely something that I'm very excited about. The other thing I'm super excited about is these bad boys right here. So my pops is an electrical contractor. This guy's own business, and the guy is the man when it comes to installing things, electrical, running pipe, running wire. The guy's awesome, and he recommended putting these in the garage. This is his idea. I was gonna put like those high bay lights actually up on the ceiling and run them all the way down both sides. So if I was working in here, I would be able to see and do whatever I wanted to do here at nighttime. And he suggested these. So these, I believe, are 10,000 lumen, which is ridiculously bright. And we actually put other hooks up front, so the lights I can actually move. You can see the other one over there, but I can actually move them front and backwards. So if I have the truck spun around and pulled in, I can light up the engine bay pretty well. So here's the brightness on these bad boys. It's like it's like an operating room. I could do surgery in here with how bright the lights are. But it's fantastic for waxing, which I have not done yet, but they're awesome. Super happy with it, and there's plenty of light to go around. I'm actually gonna add one more LED where that little half-assed kind of bulb is hanging out of the ceiling, so that's what I'm gonna be doing next in here. But as for right now, I'm very happy I have the light and I have the truck in the garage. Super cool. My other car just pulled outside so I could shoot the video. But the truck does fit in here very nicely, and it is awesome. All right, so let's get to what we have to cover in the video today. A couple weeks ago, I actually went to the racetrack. I had intended on bringing my camera, but I had a whole bunch of last-minute things I had to take care of, and I didn't want to kind of half-ass the video, so I ended up not bringing my camera. I actually discovered another problem when I was giving the truck a good once-over before I was going to leave for the track, and I found my harmonic balancer was vibrating more than it should have, and I kind of noticed the truck on the highway at cruising speed and even at idle shook a little bit more than it normally did. So I went ahead and bought a new harmonic balancer, switched it out, and I'm actually very pleased with how the truck runs now. Idle's way smoother. It doesn't shake on the highway, or vibrate, I should say, on the highway. But I was surprised after only like roughly a little over 2 years, I say old balancer, but the balancer that I initially installed, the seal, if anyone knows anything about harmonic balancers, if the seal starts to separate or dry rot or crack, it'll throw the whole thing off balance, and it can cause shaking, vibration, all that kind of all the symptoms that I was experiencing. So I went ahead and switched that out. I put the same one back on, but I intend on getting a fluid damper one. They're like $450 roughly, depending on where you get it from, to kind of help smooth out the engine idle and the performance of the bottom end and everything under high RPMs. So that problems has come and gone, thankfully. So there's nothing going on with that anymore. Everything's status quo. So anyways, let's get to the racetrack. So I went out to the racetrack with Vinny, tried my new brakes out. The brakes were awesome. However, I am going to try launching second gear. A couple guys I've spoken to said try leaving in second. I tried it one time, and I actually, you have to column shift the truck, and I actually column shifted it into neutral. So it kind of scared me, so I haven't done it since. But next time I go out there in the next couple of weeks, I'd like to go ahead and try the second gear launch and see. I've tried it on the street, and the truck holds the brakes. I can build like 10-15 pounds of boost with it in second gear as opposed to being in first gear. So I'm actually pretty eager to try that out and see how it does. All right, so on to the next topic here. I know a few weeks ago I put out I posted on my story on my Instagram page a few talking points that people wanted to hear me discuss about what's done to the truck. And a lot of I had a lot of questions about what's done to the top end of the motor, the bottom ends, things like that. So I'll go ahead and get into that. So when I rebuilt the motor, right about 2 years ago now, 2.5 years, wasn't kind of very confident what direction I was going to go or where I was going to find the parts, things like that. So I reached out to some other 7.3 guys, and everyone said talk to Clay from Riff Raff Diesel Performance and see what they have out there. So they actually offer a complete Motorcraft rebuild kit. It has every gasket, seal, O-ring. It even comes with a gray Ford RT or the gray Motorcraft RTV to seal the oil pan. I mean, it has everything in there that you can need for a total rebuild. But the cool part, what Riff Raff Diesel does, is they offer a de-lipped piston option, and I'm gonna grab the old piston that I had from my motor where I had the failure, so I'll show you that so you can see what that looks like. But they offer a de-lipped piston option, and you can go, I believe 10, 20, or 30 over if you wanna bore the motor out and make it a little bit bigger. So they offer that as well. But the kit comes with main cap bearings, rod bearings, cam bearing. I mean, anything you could want, it has in the kit. So that's the kit that I purchased. I just remained stock bore. I didn't want to get into boring the motor out and things like that and pulling the block and shipping it out. So the block, when I pulled it apart, I left the block super clean still. You could see all the hash marks in all the cylinders for the oiling pathways. Super duper clean. When I had the heads off, I took them down to a shop that's local in Fort Lauderdale that services diesel engines. And they pressure tested, decked my heads. They did everything that I needed. They actually installed my valves. I had all new valves in, new valve seals I put in. They actually changed the valve seat height a little bit. I believe when they decked it to pressure test it, and the guy called me and said, hey, we're gonna adjust the valve seat just a little bit. I said, that's fine, doesn't matter. It'll kind of help me with a little bit of valve clearance with the pistons under high RPM. I bought Comp 910 valve springs and I shimmed, I believe I shimmed them 30 thousandths or 20 thousandths, something like that. All new valve spring retainers, push rods are from Smith Brothers, they're the chromoly hardened push rods. So I got those in there. I'm trying to think what else. I left the cam, I didn't touch the cam at all. The bearings were, honestly, I didn't have a press in my house. I didn't want to start dealing with it. So I left the cam and the bearings. I changed all the main cap bearings, all the rod bearings, all the wrist pins. That kit comes with wrist pins, everything you need to assemble the motor itself. New oiling ring, new oil scraper ring on the piston heads. I mean, everything is included in the kit. It's also all the snap rings, everything. So that's as far as the top end goes. The rods I have not touched. The crank I did not touch. I did not put a girdle in the motor. Trying to think what else here that I've done to it while it was out. Anyhow, I resealed the pan with the Motorcraft RTV. If anyone's ever dealt with that shit, it is, one, it's extremely hard to get out, and number two, it dries like a rock. They actually seal the intake plenums on the motor with that stuff from the factory, and when I was taking it apart 20 years later, it's so strong, it's unbelievable. So I don't know what their secret is, but it's really stout RTV sealant. It works great. So if anyone's looking forward to rebuilding their motor, or they want a good rebuild kit or options, Riff Raff Diesel has the Motorcraft kit. It comes in one big box and has everything. So it's fantastic if that's what you're looking for. All right, so here is the piston head that came out of my number 2 cylinder on my truck. It was actually the day before I got my heads back, and I was wiping the motor surface down. I was putting a little light coat of oil on it so we didn't get any rust in there. And as I was wiping it down, I was running my finger in the inside of the fuel bowl here, if you will, on the piston head. And there was a crack right here under the number 4 here where it says cam side underneath. I don't know if you could see it. Super small, but if you run your finger on the inside, you can feel it kind of goes down the inside of the wall. So what I mean by de-lipped pistons, this lip here is pretty sharp from the factory. So what Riff Raff does, I'm assuming that they do it in-house, but if they don't, please correct me. But they hone out this lip here, and it basically makes it not as tight of an edge. It's way more rounded. And I think Clay told me it lowers your compression by like 0.5 point only, or even less than that. It's a super small amount, but it eliminates the risk for cracking here. And these pistons are prone to cracking under high heat. So this is 184,000 miles on this piston when I took the motor apart, but I mean, everything is pretty clean for the most part. Obviously the rings are gone. I took those off. But just wanted to show you that's what they mean by de-lipped. So if anyone's in the process of rebuilding or going to be rebuilding, if you see de-lipped pistons, that's what they're referring to. So they remove this lip here so the pistons can handle heat a little bit better. I also looked into ceramic coating, and I've heard from a couple people that it's good. I've heard from other people that the temperatures in the cylinder and the pressure gets so hot in these trucks that it actually just ends up burning off the ceramic coat. So you spend an extra $200 and it burns it off. Again, if someone knows more than I do, please correct me. I'm always interested in learning something new, but that's just from what I've heard from some reputable 7.3 guys. All right, so here is my time slip from the racetrack. I was actually pretty impressed. I was able to hit a 1.960 foot. I haven't been able to get under 2 seconds in a long time, so the brakes definitely helped out, but I was able to do a 12.90 at 105. Truck's best so far is 12.87 at 107. So I still have some mile an hour to gain there, but I got to get back out there and see how we do at the racetrack next time. All right, so I want to talk about the next thing here on the truck. This is, I'd say, the second most asked question is the leveling kit. So yes, my truck is leveled. It's leveled 2 inches. The kit I got from CP Addict out in Texas. It's an awesome kit. They're billet aluminum. They're like roughly a 2-inch spacer. Coil spring spacer, that is. The install is pretty easy. I basically jack the truck up, and there's a nut with a washer in here where this big long bolt is. I'm sure you can see that. So when you take that apart, it loosens up the coil spring. You basically slide the spacer in and just reassemble and torque back to spec. I'm not able to recall what the actual spec is, but that's how it kind of goes back together. Once you get it, same procedure on both sides. It's actually pretty easy. It only took me about an hour total between moving the jack and getting everything into position. The only issue that I've had was the alignment on the truck afterwards. I don't know if anyone else has these or can chime in, but I did have an issue with the alignment. I took it to a shop that does lifted truck stuff, and they actually put the largest camber plate in here, and the tires still had like I believe I could be wrong, but a positive camber. So the bottom of the tire was tucked in, the top was kind of popping out. So what they had to do was where the I-beams mount underneath the truck, and this is for two-wheel drive, these mounting bolt holes, they actually had to take down some metal in there so they could drop the bolt lower to get the bottom of the tire to swing out. I had to have that done on both sides. The truck's been fine ever since, never had an issue. It's always stayed in alignment, so that was kind of like a one and done for me. I don't know if I just got lucky with it or if that has to be done for everybody, but if anyone has any other solutions on how to avoid this if possible, please put something in the comments. I'd be interested to see. If anyone else had the same issue, please let me know, because just curious. But the product is fantastic. CP Addict has a lot of awesome products, and I have a bunch of their stuff on my truck, so shout out to them. But that's kind of where I'm at with my coil spring spacer. I installed them, and I haven't really done anything with them since. They've been in there, and I think the truck sits just right. All right, so this is how the truck sits. I know people have probably already seen how the truck sits from pictures and other videos that I've done. Excuse the trans fluid leaking. I have a leaking dipstick that I have to fix. But the truck does sit pretty level. I'm very happy with how it sits. But that's basically what it looks like when it's sitting still. All right, that's all I have for this video. Again, thank you for all the suggestions. I appreciate the talking points. Keep sending them in. I do read them, I do look at them, and I also look forward to talking about new topics in the future. So if you got something or you have any other questions, again, please feel free to let me know. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video as well. And at the end of the video, I'll post the pass from the racetrack when I was there a couple weeks ago, so you can see how the truck ran. But other than that, again, thank you for watching the 7.3 Garage. We'll see you next time.